Here we go. I'm live again. Made a fundamental mistake, of course, with my setup. I was thinking about scheduling this for 7 p.m. local time, and I was just looking at my link, and it was scheduled for 1 p.m. I don't know what I was thinking. My apologies. So let's see if people show up. If not, I'm gonna do another one tomorrow at the same time. So 7 p.m. is gonna be my typical live time here in Spain, which is gonna be, this is, let me think, East Coast time. That is 1 o'clock, right? And then that should be 10 a.m. Pacific time. I'm confused. I don't know what happened. But anyhow, so we'll see if anybody shows up. 2 people. So again, my apologies if you are my subscribers on the channel. So I just noticed when I clicked on my scheduled link for this live, it showed that it was for 1 p.m. today. Today is November 8th, right? Yeah, I arrived here yesterday. I'm still a little, no, I'm not gonna say jet lag because I'm not, but there's been a lot going on. So yeah, I don't know what happened. Anyhow, my plan was to schedule this live for 7 p.m. local time here, which is now for you guys. And US East Coast is 6 hours behind me. That would make it 1 p.m., right? And Pacific time is 3 hours behind that. But anyhow, so that's okay. So we'll get this going. And even if there's nobody here, I'm gonna deliver my speech, so to say, or my pitch, as far as why I'm here today, and then see if people are gonna show up and we're gonna have a discussion. So what I've been thinking about a lot, and I wanted to start off my Spain 1 month long trip, so to say, or staycation, whatever you wanna call it, by talking about something that's been on my mind lately. And I'm a father of 2, and I don't know if any of you, those who are 40 plus or 30 plus who have families and kids, can relate to my thinking here. But I have a boy and a girl. My son is 19, almost 20, and my daughter is almost 17. So they are 3 years apart. And I've been pretty vocal about the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of winter, especially in Northern Europe, anywhere where there's snow and where it gets dark. And that's why I've been trying to spend most of my time elsewhere. Well, I shouldn't say most of my time. Over the last 3 years, I've spent a lot of time here in Spain. Why Spain? Because it reminds me of Southern California. Basically, it has the same climate, palm trees, beach, water, mountains, all of that. And big fan of Southern California. I lived in San Diego for a long time. So that's why I've been coming here. And this is probably the best location in Europe, in continental Europe, for winter weather, so to say, unless you want to go to the Canary Islands or somewhere else, but within the continental Europe. So that's why I've been coming here. And this is the first year when I decided to, instead of having like several shorter trips, have just like one longer trip, and before Christmas, and then another one after Christmas probably. So I booked this Airbnb here, a nice little studio apartment, a 1-bedroom apartment with the pretty nice sea view, for a month, actually a little over a month. And the thing that I wanted to talk about today overall is that as parents, I guess we have this obligation, well, I mean, it's built into us, this natural obligation to be there for our kids, of course. I mean, you sign up for that thing, you become a father or a mother, why wouldn't you be? I mean, that's your number 1 job in the world, right? To take care of your kids and be there for them no matter what their needs are. But there comes a point when it's not so clear anymore, right? When they are 12 and 13 or 9 and 12, it's going to be completely different. You are needed on a daily basis. So then fast forward all these years so that my daughter is almost 17, my son is almost 20, and I'm like, okay, I don't like spending winters in Finland. Yeah, summer is a different story. So what do I do? Do I need to stay there for the kids even though they are older, or do I have a permission to pursue my own dreams, so to say? In other words, what is my personal happiness worth compared to my obligation to be there for my kids 24/7? Of course, if you ask them, they will probably tell me right away that, hey, what are you talking about? Just get going and go and just enjoy your life. But there's that guilt. That's what I would call it. So every parent feels that, I believe, at least I feel it all the time. So how much can we be? I guess the question is this, and what I've been thinking about a lot over the last couple of years, since I've been gradually spending more and more time elsewhere in the winter, and this being the first year when I'm like gone for a month. And this is day one, full day. And of course, I'm not homesick. I know I'm never going to be homesick. Wherever I have my underwear and my workout gear and my laptop, I'm good. Other than, of course, I miss my kids. So I don't miss places, I miss people. But the thing is that how much can I be selfish and how much should I be selfless? And I think about this airplane analogy a lot. I mean, all of those you who have been traveling, you know this. What do they tell you when you get on the plane? In case of an emergency, take care of your own oxygen mask first, and then the person next to you, no matter how young or old they are, how young or old they are, yes. And this is the thing, and I believe that we owe it to ourselves to take care of our personal happiness first, and after that, we can be of service to other people, including our kids. And of course, you could say that, okay, well, who are you to kind of like, you basically lecturing to yourself, justifying your own actions? Maybe, maybe not. But in hindsight, when I think about the decision to go, when I told my kids about it, I think they were both excited. My daughter said that, yeah, good for you, I'm happy for you. And I think my son, who doesn't, share that many feelings maybe compared to his younger sister, I kind of sensed that he was really happy that he got the whole apartment for himself. But the bottom line is this. So take care of your own happiness and well-being first, and then after that, you can take care of the other people. And then comes an interesting point. So what is personal happiness, and what does it mean when you take care of yourself, whether you are 20 or 30 or 40? And I think the reason why age has a big role in this whole equation is that the older we get, obviously, the more experience we have. And we know what's good for us and what's not so good for us. So we know what to do and what not to do. And I think taking care of yourself is obviously a very personal, very subjective thing. So what's good for you might not be, best for me, so to say. But I've always been, if I look at my targets, my goals in life, there are only 3 of them right now. I want to live forever. Yeah, you might call me naive. It's not possible. Maybe not, but I keep trying. Number 2, I want to be there for my kids. I want to be the best possible dad. And that's number 2 is why this is so hard. I keep asking myself, do I have a permission to live abroad or travel extensively while still being the best possible dad to my kids? It doesn't mean that I disappear. Of course, I talk to them all the time, but I'm not physically there. And then number 3, as far as my targets go, I want to professionally see how good I truly am at the end of the day. When all the money is on the table, what am I capable of? And that means that I have to stretch the envelope, I have to take risks, I have to start different projects, I have to live in different countries, start from scratch, go from industry to another industry, and really make the tough calls so that I don't play it safe, ever. And those 3 are really the only things that matter to me. And taking care of myself, then if coming here, when I hop on a plane, it helps me reset my mind, get clarity, and see things clearly again. And that serves maybe my first goal of training better, being in a better, mentally better environment. Because if I want to live forever, of course I need to be also mentally in good shape. And when the sun is shining, it's good for me, right? And then professionally, when I'm here, I'm a lot more productive than when I'm at home doing laundry, doing dishes, all of that stuff, the normal stuff. Of course, I like that too, since it involves my kids and it's kind of something that we do together. But sometimes you just have to make the hard decisions and then maybe hop on a plane, change the circumstances, change the behavior. So that's what I wanted to talk about today as far as this live goes. And again, to those of you who are there, my apologies that I completely messed up the scheduling thing. It's not going to happen again. I'll have another live tomorrow. I'm going to do these once a day now that I'm here, since I have plenty of time, and kind of go from there. So that was the plan. But yeah, this was the real topic I wanted to talk about. And how do I pick these topics? They are the ones that are on my mind, so to say. And like I said, I have a really strong sense of obligation, especially when it comes to my loved ones, people close to my family. So therefore, I just don't take it lightly when it comes to not being there physically for my kids. But I think sometimes we just got to do those things and make those hard decisions that serve us going forward as well. And I think guilt as a signal is something that, it basically says that you also care. When we think about things, when we explore it from all different angles, it means that, we don't take things lightly. And I think it's a good thing. As long as it's not overthinking, as long as it's not painting the devil on the wall or thinking about all the catastrophes that could happen. Because the reason why we oftentimes do that is that we can't deal with the unknown. We can't deal with uncertainty. So that's really hard for us. But that's another topic for another day. I'm pretty quiet today. That's okay. Maybe people were expecting me to be there. I don't know, but it is what it is. I don't know what happened. I don't know. My ankle's been, again, this is an excuse. I don't think it's related to my fuck up with live in any way, but my right knee has been bothering me a lot lately. And I've taken a few days off. And then the weirdest thing happened, that my ankle started hurting and swelling. And then my shin is also kind of a little red and swollen. Then of course, well, I don't know if it was a mistake, but I hope it was. I started using ChatGPT to get answers for this swelling and redness. And then the first thing that came up was a blood clot. I was like, fuck. I just traveled, I was on a plane. So do I have a blood clot? I called my ex-wife, who's a nurse, and she told me to elevate my foot. And I guess, it got better last night. It didn't hurt, so I don't think it is in any way. But yesterday, when I was just in the middle of that pain and wondering why I can't walk with my foot that well and whatnot, I made an appointment at this international hospital to just get my, what is it called, the test where they kind of like do the ultrasound thing if you have a blood clot. But anyhow, I'm gonna cancel that. So, it is what it is. I also poured a glass of wine for me. Spanish Albarino from Rioja area. I don't know if I pronounced that right. So 2 days live was about that guilt. Like I said, those of you online right now who missed the beginning, and again, apologies for fucking up the whole scheduling thing. I don't know what got into me, but so I started talking about the guilt of being away from your kids. So I've made a decision to spend more and more time in the coming years somewhere else in the winter time. Why? Because while I enjoy traveling, I always feel more at home when I'm somewhere else than the country that I was born in, for whatever reason. I guess I'm always an outsider everywhere I go. And I made a decision to do that. And why do I execute on those things? Because I don't want to regret anything when I'm 90. And I know this is one of those things that I need to do in order to be able to live with myself, so to say, be comfortable in my own skin. And, anyhow, too many people just talk about stuff as far as what is it that I want to do or what is it that I'm going to do in the future. And then not many are able to execute. I don't ever want to be one of those people. So I asked myself, what are my targets? What matters to me in life? And then if I recognize a long-term pattern, say, okay, this is something I need to do. This is something I'm going to worry about at 90 if I don't do it now. Because very few problems in your life are big enough that you're going to think about them in 5 years, 15 years, and in 50 years. And this meaning, if I don't travel when I have a chance, if I don't spend winter somewhere else, would be something that I would regret for the rest of my life. But you could argue that if one of my goals was to be the best possible dad to my kids as well, is that something, what is the right balance between being present, being there where they are versus being somewhere else? That's also an excellent question, and I don't have an answer to that. I think I can be a good enough father remotely as well by having video calls with them and talking to them on the phone and exchanging text messages. So that's how I look at it. Tomorrow I was planning on going to the gym here. There's a place that I really like called Oxygen Gym, and I'm gonna go there. It's like 5 minutes away from me here in Mijas Costa, and I'm gonna see how I can what I can get done with my foot. Probably no leg workout yet because of my my knee and my ankle, but hopefully something later. Yeah. Anyhow, still bothers me. I mean, that whole freaking scheduling thing. I don't know what happened. I was supposed to schedule this live for 7 p.m. And then when I looked at the link, it was like 1 o'clock. I was like, what the fuck happened? Anyhow, crazy. Yeah, maybe I should, by the way, send a community post. Yeah. Well, there were no likes, no responses, so I don't think it mattered. I don't think people missed me that much, to be perfectly honest. Interesting. Maybe Saturday is not the best time. People are doing something else other than they don't want to hang out with me. So I don't know, if there was somebody there, I would ask this question. What do you think? Would this be a big enough topic for a longer video on YouTube? Well, by long I mean 5 to 10 minutes. Because I look at it this way: these live broadcasts, people want their questions answered one-on-one, and I think long videos grow because they solve real problems. So what would be the real problem around this? I mean, I'm going to brainstorm here while I'm facing the camera. I get practice at the same time. This is what I'm using this for as well. Okay, so let's brainstorm. I'm going to talk to myself here since there's nobody else online. What is this going to solve? Maybe there are parents who have goals to do the same thing. Travel, go away for the weekend. Maybe this is more of a female thing than a male thing. Typically, women are the ones who are, I don't know, I'm not throwing anybody under the bus as far as any men go. But maybe this is more of a female thing, I don't know, but at least that's too. So how much, if I have a goal, if I recognize a pattern that I want to start golfing more, I have the opportunity financially and time-wise, but I have a family here in this country, should I go? What if my spouse is always complaining about it? That's a good one, maybe. For men over 40 or whoever men over 30 with families. Okay, so if I recognize something that, if I believe in EJ's concept about, okay, ask yourself, what are the things that you're gonna regret at 90 if you don't do them now? So then, if that's one thing, okay, I wanna start spending this and this much time doing this and that, then go for it. Okay, what would be the real problem that this is solving? So maybe I would turn this same concept into a longer video where I basically tell you that, okay, here's the step that you need to do. Here are the steps you need to follow. So step number one, I'm just throwing ideas out there. This is not probably in a very logical order. But step number one would be that, okay, ask yourself, what are the things I want to do? Not what my wife or my husband wants me to do, but what are the things I want to do in life, okay? And what roadblocks do I have? Are there kids? Are there family members? Are there just other people's opinions? And then understand that there are no solutions. There are only trade-offs. There are only compromises. Everything is a compromise. And then just make a decision and go forward with that and make the best out of it. Because at the end of the day, the rule number one is that you owe it to yourself to take care of yourself first. And what does taking care of yourself mean? To me, it's a couple of things. It's mental and physical. If I take care of myself, actually I had a podcast that came out, it's in Finnish, so probably to this audience it's not relevant, but we had a podcast guest and we talked about what does it mean when you're in good shape. And I introduced 3 concepts, and I think there was definitely there was a 4th one that I missed, but now that I think about it, I recognize that. So what I meant, so let's say you meet somebody and you talk to that person for the first time, and you guys start talking about, okay, what does it mean to be in good shape? Okay, the first thing that comes to my mind is that, okay, somebody who looks good. Okay, somebody who's maybe lean and muscular. That's a visual thing, okay? And the second thing is that your performance is good. You're in good shape if you can perform. Let's say you're a professional athlete. Again, you could be a very heavy power lifter, or you could be the world's strongest man. You would be gigantic, probably carrying a lot of extra weight, but your performance level, your strength, your speed, your explosiveness would be off the charts, okay? Somebody could argue that, okay, you are in good shape. And compared to the general population, yes, you would be. And then the third category, which is like, okay, in good shape means that regardless of your performance, regardless of your visual, like the aesthetics, what does your blood panel look like? What about your cholesterol, your kidney and liver values, and what about your blood pressure, right? So that would be like, using medical terms, somebody who's in good shape, okay? And then the 4th category I would say is probably, I don't know why I would talk about this, sidetrack, off topic, it doesn't matter, this is my lab, I can talk about whatever I want, but so the 4th topic is kind of like mental, somebody who's mentally in good shape. So let's say you want to live forever, like, okay, I do. Okay, so let me break that down for you. I'm a big believer in setting the goalpost so far out in the future, or like, let's put it this way. So let's say I have a physical goal. I set the goalpost somewhere. And then once I get closer, I just start moving the goalpost. When you keep moving the goalpost constantly, at least in theory, your motivation stays high. So health-wise, when it comes to being in shape and longevity being the real goal for me, is that I basically have made a very bold statement that I want to live forever. I don't care if it's possible or not. If I can't get there, I'll die trying, right? Of course, everybody dies at some point according to the knowledge we have right now. And I don't think we are even close to cracking that, no matter what the world leaders talk about, or whoever talks about it. But I'm fully aware of the fact that I'm going to run out of time at some point, but I'm not going to give up very easily. So if my goal is as aggressive as possible, so using the categories that I had, so visually, it doesn't necessarily translate to longevity in any way. So think about somebody who's visually extremely muscular, extremely lean, like a Mr. Olympia bodybuilder. Okay, we all know, at least sane people, smart people know that that has nothing to do with being healthy or longevity, because those guys usually die young because for obvious reasons. Then if your performance level is off the charts, so let's say you are the world's strongest man athlete type of a guy, or a power lifter who weighs 300 pounds, I would argue that that doesn't really translate that well to longevity either, okay? But performance is really top notch. And then somebody whose medical values, like the blood panel and the blood work, looks really good, could be somebody who's never done any physical work. So it doesn't necessarily reveal how strong your heart is, or your, let's say, if you have not done any physical activity, your muscle mass and your bone density is really poor. You don't have your VO2 max at the right level, and so forth. When you start approaching 70, 75, or 80, there's going to be a greater likelihood for somebody like that, especially in the absence of muscle mass and bone density, to die young. Okay, so you probably want a combination of all of it. You need performance, you need strength, you need speed, you need VO2 max, you need some muscle and bone density, and then you need a healthy blood work or blood panel. And in addition to that, a very important one is that you also need that mental capacity, that being health mentally, so that you stay in the game, so your head stays in the game. Because if your head is not in the game, you can't do any of the other things required to be here forever. That's how I look at it. So to me, traveling here serves a couple of purposes. It helps me reach my business goals, and it helps me get closer to living forever, even if that's not realistic, because I'm mentally better off in a place where the sun is shining and it's an international environment, whatnot. But that's just how I look at it. It's unfortunate that there aren't that many people participating. A Thursday night when I had my last live, we had a really active conversation, which I really enjoyed. But today, it's maybe Saturday is not the best time to have this. But I'm gonna be back tomorrow, and tomorrow after this, I'm gonna schedule my live already so that I don't mess it up. I don't know what the fuck happened, but anyhow, so we'll see what we're gonna talk about tomorrow. I'm gonna come up with something, but today's thing was about being a parent, feeling guilty about being away from your kids, me being here in Spain and my kids being in Finland. Of course, they are older, and how do I balance that? Because I think the rule number one was that, okay, we owe it to ourselves to be happy first so that we can be the best parents to our kids. What does taking care of yourself mean? To me, it's, mentally and physically being in shape and being able to fulfill my goals and meet my targets and whatnot. But of course, kids play a major role in that. And like I said, in an airplane, what happens in an emergency, all the flight attendants tell you to put that oxygen mask on yourself first and then help your kid or that elderly next to you. So I think that's the thing that I try to think about a lot. And the first time when I had to face this conversation big time was when I got divorced. Gosh, when was it? 9 years ago, probably. And I automatically thought that my kids would be worse off. And I had some interesting experiences from my own past when it comes to my parents, and I automatically thought that I would expose my kids to the same kind of trouble and trauma. And of course, that's a mistake that we make. But nevertheless, I had to go through that conversation, have that deep conversation with myself. And I actually got some outside help at that point as well. I went to talk to a therapist a couple of times about my own belief system and thoughts, and it took a while for me to make that decision. But that was the first time when I was really able to connect the dots between personal happiness and being the best version of myself to my kids, being able to be the best possible dad to them. So this is kind of under the same umbrella. And why am I talking about this? Well, first of all, it's on my mind. And I think personally that I think many people can relate to this. And then if I can help one or two of those guys, so then mission accomplished. That's how I look at it. But yeah, I wanted to talk about this today, and then obviously open up for any questions, but it's been pretty quiet today. We have one person online, so if you have anything on your mind, so let me know. No, two people, maybe more coming along. Yeah, and apologies if any of my current subscribers are online and you saw my community post and they're like, what the fuck is that guy doing? Why didn't he show up at 1 o'clock? I don't know what happened. That's when I scheduled the live for tonight. I meant 7 p.m. And even my community post said 7 p.m., but I don't know. Too many things on my mind. Big water bottle, huge. Okay, more people coming. Go ahead, talk to me. Did any of you listen to my rant at all? Or you're like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's fine too, by the way. I don't mind. I don't mind. So it's Saturday, 7:30 p.m. What am I doing here? Well, I was working and watching a Chris Williamson podcast. By the way, if you don't know who that guy is, he's really good. British guy who lives in Austin nowadays. Moved to the US 3 years ago. He's got some really good work. He has some really good podcast episodes. He's a good guy overall. Very natural in front of the camera. I like him a lot. He also interviews interesting people because I think Chris is a curious guy by default. And I think he's YouTube. Why am I talking about Chris Williamson? This is my lab. Well, it doesn't matter. He is, what is his tagline say? Life is hard. This podcast will help. He said himself in one of the, there was a conversation between him and Alex Hormozy, and Alex was challenging him about, they were talking about why people have this deep, strong need to understand why certain things happen to them. And Alex was pushing back saying, it doesn't matter. It's like, whatever. It's like it happened and move on. And then, the question you should be asking yourself is that, okay, how is this going to be relevant to me? I missed the live stream of you. It tells you, what a pity. What do you mean? You were there. I talked to you. Oh, you mean like, I mean the one I scheduled for today, but didn't show up because I made a mistake. I meant that it would need to be, or it should have been 7 p.m., but I marked it at 1 p.m. You mean that one, or the one Thursday night? Because I thought you were there Thursday night and we talked. Yeah, I don't know what happened. So if you mean this, I scheduled a live today for 7 p.m. tonight, and then I started clicking on it because, I don't know if you know, but on YouTube, you probably know, you go to that scheduled live stream, it's like, why the fuck isn't that opening? It's like, it says 1 p.m. It's like, oh my God, it's like, did I accidentally schedule it for 1 p.m. instead of 7 p.m., which was the idea, and apparently so. Oh man. Yeah, it happens. But I think I'm gonna do daily lives now here in Spain while I'm here. So I was thinking of doing them every day at the same time, so 7 o'clock. I can schedule them, or then I just show up and see who wants to join me, but I'll probably schedule them if next time I can do it properly. Yeah, I need to open my own live, so I was looking forward to see a bit of Helsinki Airport on your way to Spain this morning. It was yesterday, yeah. So did I make it? I probably said that I would shoot something. Yeah, so many things, sorry, on my mind. So many things. Yeah, I opened my own chat here again. Yeah, I don't know if I was planning on doing it. It was supposed to do a live stream from the airport. It was so freaking early. And it was funny thing happened. I don't know. I'm here for a little over a month now. And obviously I need a lot of stuff, but probably I took too much again this time, which happens every time you travel. You guys know that, right? So every time you go, you overpack, but I guess that's okay. So I had I have a big suitcase, and I was a kilo overweight, and then they kicked me out of the line, and then they told me to go to the special quote unquote needs line, or whatever, special assistance. I was like, oh my God, I have to pay extra. But the lady who was there, she was really nice, saying that, hey, I'm this close to retirement. I don't want to cause any trouble here. I was like, I'm not gonna, it's like, if I'm, over the weight limit, it's on me. I'm not gonna complain about the customer service or whatever. And she said, yeah, that's okay. It's like, I'm not gonna judge you anything. It would have been 65 euros, of course. In the grand scheme of things, it's a small number, but yeah, she was friendly. Anyhow, I usually have, even if I go on a 1 week trip, believe it or not, I'm not a typical guy. I still have my, I don't know if I can show it. It's in the corner. Oh, it's like you won't see it. It's dark. I have the same size suitcase with me, and it's always full of stuff. Apparently, 1 month or 1 week doesn't really make a difference to me. But here, I always take an apartment where I can do laundry, so obviously that helps a lot. But I probably have half of the stuff is something I don't need. I don't know. You know how it goes. But it's okay. At least you have clothes then. Yeah, so to those of you who are now online, so I started this by talking about this guilt that I have as a parent. So that was really the reason why I wanted to go online today. If you saw my invitation about being away from my kids, and I wanted to share my thoughts about how I balance that, the role of being a father to kids who are already yes older and who can handle it by themselves, but still as a parent I have that sense of obligation to be there. And I basically explained in the beginning what that feels like, and then some thinking models and mental models behind that as far as what I think we should be doing as parents. And even if you don't have kids, it's the same thing applies. I mean, you have so-called obligations. Maybe your family members expect you to show up for Christmas dinner. And you're like, okay, well, it's not really my thing. So should I go or should I not go? Do I have a permission to stay home and do something else? People show their emotions. And something I learned way too late in my life is that you're never responsible for other people's feelings or emotions if you do what's best for you. As long as you don't break any laws or harm anybody intentionally, you can do whatever you want as long as it's best for you. And then those people who take it personally, who show their emotions, their feelings, it's on them. It's their problem. It's not your problem. Easier said than done. So this is not really, I guess this is an overall principle. And now that I'm thinking about it, I was thinking about actually recording a longer YouTube video about the same topic. And this is one of the reasons why I do these lives, is I kind of like pitch ideas and talk to myself at the same time, see this same thing happens now, new ideas come to my mind. So we all have this sense of obligation about something. To me, it happened to be being a father now. But to you guys, it could be something completely different. And then, am I allowed to do what's best for me? Or do I need to please others? Many of us are people pleasers our whole lives. We are way too nice, you know? It's like then we feel bad about it if we don't do what other people ask from us. And I think at the end of the day, I can only speak for myself. But I've said very openly that I've been a yes man way too many times. Not to outsiders. I can be extremely blunt, yes or no, to so-called outsiders. But people close to me, family members, inner circle, I have a weak spot. And I didn't really know how to say no in the past. It's still hard for me. It's really hard. And this is just a sign of that. You know what I mean? That, you know, it's a big enough topic for me to start a live, maybe do a longer YouTube video about it tomorrow about, you know, do I have the right to do what's best for me? Can I be selfish, you know, or do I have to be selfless? So what's the right balance between the obligations, you know, quote unquote obligations in your life? So is it okay that I take care of myself first? Of course it is okay, right? We all know that, but why is it so hard then? But again, coming back to me personally, real talk. So if I think about myself and why saying no has been hard, I think there's several topics there, but if I'm really honest, one thing is that I guess some sort of I've always been really hard on myself. And if you think about, I'm going to draw something for you guys. If you think about the, you know, Dr. Albert Ellis, have you heard of the guy? He launched this thing called 3 layers of blame. I'll show you in a sec. It goes like this. So 3 layers, right? Do you see anything? So the outside layer is circumstances, then you have others and self, right? So most of us, we blame circumstances first. You know, my vacation got messed up because, or it was ruined because of bad weather, airline being late, rental company giving me the wrong car. Now it's all fucked up, okay? So it's always, you know, it's the circumstances. And then the next layer is like we blame others. Okay, my spouse or my partner or my friend or whoever, my coworker was supposed to, they didn't treat me well. Okay, now therefore they should be punished, and you know, you get upset and whatnot. There's somebody else who's supposed to make me happy, who's supposed to give me more money, who's supposed to give me the promotion. And then those people who are in the innermost circle, self, they are the types of guys, I'm one of those, okay? I don't really ever blame circumstances. I don't blame others. I do that occasionally, especially in traffic. That's a different story. But most of the time, I look myself in the mirror and say, okay, all the answers are here. Okay, you can fix it, it's on you. But what's typical for people like this, our challenge is that we are very critical of ourselves. So our self-worth We don't feel like we're worth anything unless we accomplish something. So I believe with people, one of the biggest reasons why I had hard time saying no to people was that I was desperate to get the credit or the appraisal from the other people, or the appraise, I'm sorry, from the other people, right? And I think that was really one of the reasons why it was so hard. And then I think one of the reasons, even though it was smaller, was that I wanted to also see how good I can truly be. Many people kept telling me that you got to focus, you got to concentrate on a couple of things, but I was like, yeah, I can handle this because I learned so much, and it's gonna be fun, and these are new projects and new opportunities for me. So many things like that. But I think that's one of the reasons why typically people with poor self-esteem, insecurities, are those people who have hard time saying no. And I can say, I mean, many people say about me that I look like the guy whose self-confidence is the size of an apartment building. And in many respects, that's true. But I'm also extremely self-aware as far as where my insecurities are. You know what I mean? And being very critical of yourself is one form of an insecurity, because I think there are many reasons why we have that, or where it has come from in the past. But some people, maybe their parents didn't give them enough love, or give them enough credit, or tell them what a good job they did, you know what I mean? Or then they themselves had this so-called quality in their DNA shaped by several experiences in their life where they like felt that nothing that I did was ever good enough. You know what I mean? But I would be very careful not to categorize that as a weakness, because I don't believe in that. I don't believe in strengths and weaknesses. I only believe in character traits, because every single quality or a character trait, that it's like a coin that has two sides. So if you have that so-called deep insecurity that keeps you going, that's also a superpower, because you probably never ever fucking stop. See, so it depends if it's a weakness or a strength, depending on the people, depending on the circumstances, time of the day, or whatever. It could be either or. It's just how I look at it. So long way from sense of obligation. Can I look after myself first and still be the best version of myself to my kids? You know what I mean? Or best possible dad to my kids. Would like to hear your thoughts. Did any of them make any sense? I want to drink a little wine before I get a comment. And water. So maybe I try recording a longer YouTube video tomorrow without a script at all. I don't have a hard script. I put together something and it's like more of a bullet point type thing. But I would like my long videos to be more like lives, where I kind of freestyle more, so that would bridge the gap between a live format and a long scripted format. And I think raw and real is the future of all content, because people don't want to see a lot of post-production edits and all that. I think that's how I look at it. So I think it would be, that's at least going to be my style going forward. I don't know what other people are doing. I don't really care, but I think that's the type of content that resonates definitely better, because you're authentic, you're raw and real. Nobody, I mean, all the mistakes you make, like my mess up with the scheduling today and whatnot, being open about it, it's just humbling, right? Can I help you with anything? What did you think about my drawing? Cheers. Yeah, I know. Kippis. Was this too heavy of a topic for Saturday night? People want something more relaxed. Let's talk about something more relaxed. I'm not always very serious. It's funny I have my laptop open here. It's funny, there's a delay. Seeing yourself on the screen. Oh my God, of course I see myself here too, but crazy. After this, what's on my agenda? 7:45, I'm gonna go party hard. No, I'm not. I'm gonna cook, I'm gonna eat something, and go to bed early. I went to bed like 9 o'clock last night. So I had to wake up super early. I did not sleep well when I had my last live, if any of you were there. That was past 10 o'clock when we ended. And then I woke up, I felt like I didn't sleep at all. But I had the weirdest dream. Then I had the alarm clock go off like 4:10, 4:20. It didn't really feel like I slept at all. And last night, with this ankle being still, I don't know, quote unquote, infected and knee hurting and whatnot, I felt, did you go to the outdoor gym today? No, I didn't because of my ankle thing. I've been, you were not probably here when I'm gonna go tomorrow. Well, hopefully. So my right knee has been bothering me for like 6 months, literally. Okay, why didn't you take a break? Good question. Stupid. Anyhow, so I've been training. I've been trying to kind of like massage it, or getting massages, and like using this massage ball and foam roller and whatnot. But it's kind of been staying the same. And then finally, I gave it some more rest time, and all of a sudden, I don't know, maybe it was just like self-treating it, getting all these massages and whatnot. I think somehow the upper calf got infected, the back of my knee. And then my shin got really sore. I don't know why. It's still a little sore and red and warm. And then my ankle, I don't know, weird stuff happened. And then I was like, I started using ChatGPT as far as the symptoms go. And the first thing that came up was like a blood clot. I was like, what the fuck? Do I have a blood clot? It's like, it's not possible. It started as like a soft tissue / muscle stiffness related problem. And but anyhow, so long story short, I was really tired. I was kind of anxious about that, and I even made an appointment to see a doctor, but I didn't get it until Tuesday. So yeah, if it's a blood clot, you should see him. I don't think it is, because obviously it's a lot better. But my ankle has been sore, quote unquote, infected a little bit too, and I gave it some extra time, and I'm gonna probably go and train some upper body tomorrow, and then hopefully be able to get back to my normal schedule next week. But just crazy stuff. I don't know. Yeah, but I'm gonna go to this gym tomorrow that has the outdoor gym too. So they have like the indoor gym, full blown, and then kind of like a covered patio, which is outside, and then a full blown outdoor gym and a CrossFit area. It's really cool. So I'm gonna go there tomorrow. Yeah. What about you guys? How's the weather in Germany? Rainy? +10, I'm guessing. +12? Here it was beautiful, 21 degrees, blue skies, sunshine. What about tomorrow? I gotta check real quick. Weather, Mihas Costa. Saturday, tomorrow 19 degrees, Monday 20, 19, 21, 21. According to this, we should have some rain Thursday, Friday. You never know. I don't know. Today was like in Finland, great. Yeah. Well, you can't win, right? Well, you know how, Germany weather in the middle of winter is not, well, this is not winter yet, but December, January, February, it's not the greatest either, so. The reason why I keep coming here is that this is in the continental Europe. This is the best weather. southern Spain, and this reminds me of Southern California, which is my home base in the US, San Diego especially. So that's why I keep coming here. This is, in a way, weather-wise, the mountains, the palm trees, the water, it's kind of like going home in a sense. I like Portugal too, to be perfectly honest. I was thinking about it, and maybe after Christmas, if I'm gonna do another month, 1 month or longer stint somewhere, maybe I consider going to Lisbon. I like that a lot. Last time I went there. We'll see. But the downside is that the weather isn't as nice as here. It's a little colder. So that's that 3 to 4 degrees, 3 to 4 degree difference, which, I mean, if you have 18 versus 14, that's a big difference, you know, sunny. So but you know, there's other elements too that come into play, or other factors that come into play. I don't know if you guys have been to Lisbon. The Cascais was the area that I went to. It was really nice. It was really nice. I liked it a lot. Very international. The biggest difference probably between Portugal and Spain is that Portugal is one of those countries, typical for a smaller country, right? Only 10 million people, that nothing is dubbed. I mean, they use subtitles. I mean, like in France, Germany, Italy, everything is dubbed. So it's like there is no original anything. So people are not really exposed to, let's say, English language that well. The ones who speak, obviously, they studied at school and probably spent, you know, time elsewhere. But I think that's a major drawback. Of course, I understand where it comes from, where they're coming from. But Portugal, and of course its traditions and history being a so-called trade country, they've been sailors and they've been doing trade with other countries. They have had their colonies all these years, so it's obviously comes into play there and plays a huge role. So, but it doesn't really matter here. I don't have to speak Spanish. Oh, I don't have to speak Spanish. There's some notifications here. Okay, so what's going on? Talk to me. I gave my rant or my lecture about saying no and taking care of yourself first and not feeling guilty. Remember to show us some art galleries in Marbella. Yeah, I'm not an art gallery guy, but yeah, I'll show you my art at the gym. I can take plenty of pictures there. I'm gonna shoot some footage. But I'm sure Marbella has lots of art. I don't know if they're in the Old Town area. Probably not in Puerto Banús that much. Probably in Old Town more. I'm thinking. I have this ring light here. I know it's better because there was that shadow. Yeah. I took my ring light with me, and I think it looks pretty good with this. Do you think? It's not too bad. It's not too bad. I guess you're supposed to use one. I don't have anything else on here behind me, so this thing lights up the whole thing. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Again, apologies to those who were, I don't know if anybody saw, but I've been doing this for almost an hour already. Crazy time flies. Yeah, apologies to those of you who were there at 1 o'clock. Obviously, that was the time when I scheduled my live, but yeah, it was not meant to be that way. I meant this to be at 7, which I didn't start another one, but yeah, the link that I provided probably didn't take you to the right live, so apologies on me. But again, tomorrow night, I'm gonna do another one at 7. I don't know what I'm gonna talk about yet, but I was thinking of doing this every day, if they make sense, if people wanna listen to me. And there's plenty of topics I can talk about. I don't know how many of those are relevant to other people, but if not, then we could just ask questions about anything. You can have a conversation. So what else is going on? Talk to me. Ask a question, anything. What are you drinking? I'm drinking white wine. The ring light is okay, and I like the horizontal look too. Yeah, I like these. I've noticed a big difference. So I did vertical lives. All the lives I did in the beginning, I did a lot of workout lives and whatnot. So there were, I mean, I had up to like 1,000 visitors or viewers during some of those most successful lives. But people come and go. They just like the average view duration is a lot shorter. Whereas like the one that I did Thursday night, there were probably 50 people who showed up and an average view duration was 50 minutes. So there was a lot of comments. So I like that. So people, there's less engagement, but there's deeper engagement this way. And I think one of the reasons is that this is probably not shown in any of the feeds. Like the vertical live is shown in the shorts feed. So that's how people find them, and they kind of like glance at it, they leave, obviously, unless it's kind of like if they look forward to that live particularly. But I don't know how you can find this. Maybe you guys, if you're subscribers, you get the invitation. I don't know how, this is probably the notification is probably being sent, or the invitation, to all the subscribers, I'm guessing. At least I get an email myself about me going live. People will watch later, yeah, that's true. But other than that, I don't know how, like if you're a non-subscriber, how do you find this live? Is it being shown anywhere? I don't know, but you're right. People watch afterwards. But I don't know. I don't understand the algorithm that well. But what I do know is that the vertical. I was part of a YouTube boot camp. They sent me an invitation, and they were suggesting, one of the reasons why they were suggesting vertical lives was because of that reason, that particular reason about them being part of Shorts feed. But also they said that 70% of live users or viewers, by coincidence, yeah, that makes sense. 70% of live viewers are mobile users. So are you guys using your desktop, by the way, or if you don't mind, 5 of you online, are you using your mobile phone or your computer? Or how are you watching this now? My laptop, okay. Nobody else wants to say anything. That's okay, you don't have to. I would assume that's probably the majority of people. Maybe I should, I don't know, maybe I should try vertical lives again too. Could I do both? No. There's only one source, of course. Then I would have to have 2 different accounts. I'm thinking out loud. Forget it. That's okay. Doesn't matter. Okay, ask me something. Go crazy. Be provocative. That's okay. I don't mind. You can throw me under the bus if you want. Or say something nice too. It doesn't. Should not rock my boat. Taking notes. I'm thinking about that video tomorrow. Selfish. Where am I here? Take care of yourself, actually. Yeah, interesting. Okay, I don't know what to. Yeah. Okay, my ex-wife is sending me pictures about her new kitchen. At the same time. What else can we talk about? So, My plan for the next 30 days, what's my plan? I'm gonna work, I'm gonna train and eat. That's all. Pretty much the same stuff I do at home. Other than the biggest difference is change your circumstances, change your behavior. That's what we talked about on Thursday. When you put yourself in a new environment, I think that's still one of the most underrated hacks for personal productivity and happiness in life. So think about it. If you're stuck, if you're overwhelmed, hop on a freaking plane. Wasn't there any geisha at the airport? I'm sure there was. Oh yeah, I remember you liked that. Yeah. I didn't buy it for myself. Geisha is chocolate, for those of you who don't know. So she's talking about some Finnish chocolate. Some people, it's like this filled chocolate. What's inside of it? It's got this creamy filling. What is it? I don't know what it even is, what they put in there. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I think it's okay. I think all chocolate is okay, but I don't ever buy chocolate. Unless it's a gift for somebody else. But yeah, so what was I saying? So I was coming back to my previous topic. So if you're ever stuck, if you're ever overwhelmed, the best investment in yourself is traveling. Put yourself in a new environment, see different places, see different people, and all of a sudden those daily worries you have just like feel like nothing. Okay, that's my experience. Productivity-wise, I do the same exact things here compared to what I do at home, but with a small caveat. I don't have anybody else to take care of, so I don't have my kids' laundry or anything to cook for them or whatnot. So I can only just be very selfish, just live for myself, eat whenever I want, do laundry whenever I want, do whatever I want, whenever I want. And there's no distraction, there's nobody else, it's quiet, and it's all of that. So that's a huge boost for me. And every time I come here, it makes me think if I should do what I lecture or preach about myself, meaning outsourcing and delegating. So think about this. So a provocative statement. So let's say you make $50 or $100 an hour, or let's use $100. It's a nice even number. So, and even if you didn't make 100, let's take this even one step further. So let's say your aspirational hourly rate is $100, regardless of what you make today. So you want to make $100 an hour in the near future, okay? I'm a big believer in outsourcing and delegating all the work that costs less than that. Meaning, if cleaning your house, cooking, doing laundry, or whatever, getting all of that outsourced costs $50 an hour, you should do that every day, any day of the year. Meaning, how do I buy back time so that I can do whatever it takes in order for me to get to that level where I make $100 an hour? That's a harder sell, but what if you already make $100 an hour? So think about your time, unless you're the biggest fan of cleaning, vacuuming your house. So why the heck would you not hire somebody to do the cleaning for $35 an hour or $25 an hour and take some of that time or all of that time and put it there where you make $100 an hour, right? So when I come here, I think about that a lot. So it's like, okay, how much this focus and this time to myself is helping me be more productive and actually think and see things more clearly. It's not even the working part, but it's the thinking part and seeing the roadmap and the road ahead more clearly. And that's just such an underrated thing. And overall, the older I get, the more experienced I get, and I guess hopefully the more skilled I get, the more I seem to understand how very little time I have to really get good at something, and how much it takes and how difficult it is to get really, really good at something, which then means that I have no other choice but to focus my energy and my time on those selected few focus areas and items and things in life if I want to get really good at them. It's just, and you have to ruthlessly say no, delegate, ignore, outsource, and do whatever it takes to buy back time. Yeah, but very few people do that. And one of the reasons why I had not traveled anywhere for, I don't know, what, 3 or 4 months, and I get this itch. And one of the reasons why I get that itch is because I'm always restless no matter where I am. That's part of it. But also part of that is because of the productivity itch. And I understand and recognize the fact that I need to buy back that time for myself and be more productive again. And that's one of the reasons why I do that, meaning traveling. So I think people just get stuck in this daily routine, the same routine that doesn't really work or give them the results. And that's the definition of insanity if you think about it. You keep doing the same things, but you're expecting different outcomes or results. And that's just like, I think many of us live in this 6-month cycle for 30 years. You set these new goals for yourself, and then you kind of like, yeah, I'm going to make this change, I'm going to make that change. And one of the reasons why change is so freaking difficult is because it's painful and there's fear involved, And that's the thing that I mentioned in one of my lives, was it the last time or the time before that you can't really trust your brain if you want to be successful in life. And by successful, I don't mean making a lot of money, but doing something that's outside the norm, outside what 80% of the people do or 90%. It could be more free time or, gaining status or being financially free or whatever the thing is, but or becoming a professional athlete, even if it's a marginal sport where you don't make any money. You know what I mean? But it's something that people cannot, it's not the norm. It's not the 9-to-5 norm where you make an average salary, work for somebody else and just complain all the time. So if you want to, quote unquote, be successful, you cannot trust your brain. That's just because your brain is not there to make you successful. Its job is to keep you safe. Because we have this thing called negativity bias. You guys have heard me say this probably, but what it means is that we have this exceptional ability to recognize danger and sense danger. And if we really want to be successful, we have to exit our comfort zone. That means that our brain is telling us to stop, because you're doing something new, and everything that's new, it feels scary, and your brain is telling you that, hey, slow down, hold your horses. So that's really the hard part. And that's why many people get stuck in this 6-month cycle for 30 years, because there's pain and there's fear involved. And I don't know, I'm no better than anybody else, quite the opposite. But what I'm pretty good at is understanding fear. And before that, I recognize what is it that I need to do so that I have no regrets at the end of the day. And then I'm willing to deal with fear and pain in order to avoid regret. And that's one of my favorite topics in life, to talk about short-term versus long-term, meaning pain and fear is short-term. It's temporary, it's going to go away, but regret lasts forever. When you're 90, when you're 70, 60, whatever the age is, you cannot buy back more time, those years that you had. And if you never do what you wanted to do, that price tag, I could not live with myself. But anyhow, who am I to say? Everybody, do whatever you want. But one of the reasons why I make these videos is that I feel, honestly, call me naive, but I feel passionate about talking about this stuff. And the people that my paying clients from a coaching business, this is a common topic. It's so common for everybody. Life is simple, but not easy. Wanting it easy makes it complicated. Think about it. Life is extremely simple. It's the simple things that matter. You identify what the winning actions are. They're always simple. Business ideas, the best business ideas are simple. Your health hacks are simple. There's nothing complex about them. They are the same. They have been the same for 100 years. They have not changed. People try to reinvent the wheel because they want something easier. Life is simple, but not easy. And wanting it easy makes it complicated. And we want life to be easy. And that's the conflict. And I think that's where I can add value to my clients today, and I feel super passionate about that stuff. I keep talking about it, even if there's nobody here on these lives or watching my videos or whatever. And then it's not just that, but of course my business background and my background internationally and having my mess ups and mistakes and whatnot, relationship-wise and everything. It's just like part of the story. So I guess that's why I'm here. But you guys know that if you have been listening to my stories. I'm going to drink wine. Yeah. What else? Should we call it a day and continue tomorrow? Okay, if there's anybody who feels like saying anything, word on Saturday, cheers. If there's anybody who wants to comment, so give me, what would it be if you got to pick one topic for me to talk about tomorrow in a live, starting at 7 o'clock, this time real 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. your time too in Germany. Here in 7 p.m. I'm going to schedule it right after this. I'm going to make it right this time, 7 p.m. So what would you want me to talk about from my perspective? If you don't have to say anything, but if you feel like I would be curious to hear. Nothing? It's okay. I can just pick a topic. Okay, let me see what I have. I love your real estate topics. You mean like a story about real estate? Like learnings regarding that? Business lessons? Okay, I can give you some ideas. Okay. Okay, I have this. Fuck. What the heck happened now? Okay, now I don't understand. Okay. I have, on the health side, we could talk about diet, nutrition. We could talk about mental health. We could talk about successful habits for longevity. We could talk about workouts. We could talk about recovery. On the wealth side, on the money side, business side, we could talk about building wealth, how about managing wealth, about successful habits that I have learned. Talk about work ethic. We could talk about more soft things like relationships. We could talk about parenthood, fatherhood, being a life partner. I'm going to talk about that. I have a lot of stuff on that, probably some controversial stuff. Friends and family, business and networking. Importance of allocating time to spend with friends and family, finding a healthy balance. That's pretty much what we talked about today a little bit. Please show us a bit of Spain too. How do you want me to do that? Like have a live somewhere? What do you mean? Like pictures? I don't know how to do that. Hate to say that out loud. Well, I can do it here, yes. Oh, you mean live from somewhere else? Yeah, I can do that. But it's dark at 7 o'clock. I need to do it earlier. I'll do one earlier next week, like 4 or 5 p.m. But then I want to time this such that people in the US can join if there's anybody joining, because most of my subscribers are from North America. So I want to make sure that there's a decent time for them to join. But I mean, not every live has to be at the same time. I can do them at different times. I can do one earlier and I can go to the beach actually and take my camera with me. That's a solid. How about we do that? Next week, I pick a sunny day. Hey, I'll pick a sunny day next week, and then I'll go and do a live from somewhere. I'm gonna walk. Let's do that. I'm gonna take when my ankle is in shape. When my ankle is in shape, I get to walk. Hopefully they don't amputate my leg. So when my ankle is in shape and that's swollen, I'm gonna go for a walk, say 4 or 5 p.m. when the sun is shining, and I'm gonna take you guys to the beach. We'll do that. It's a good idea. I'm gonna walk. I have this tripod thing that I can hold. That's okay. It's a great idea. Thanks for that. I can sit on the beach, yeah. I'm not gonna go swimming though. I'm not a big swimmer anymore. Not a big swimmer anymore. Okay. Yeah, you don't want to see me swim. Well, I mean, I can swim, but I think it's way too cold now. Well, it's not cold, but what else? I keep asking what else. I guess there's nothing else, but we can talk about whatever. Have a great evening. Until the next live. Yep. So thanks a lot, guys. So it's Saturday night for you, whatever you guys are doing. So I hope you enjoy it. Thank you for joining, and still apologies for being late with that, having that scheduling or invitation mix up. Tomorrow I'm going to schedule one for 7 p.m. I'm going to do it right now, and I'll talk to you then. Okay. See you and enjoy your weekend. Okay. Thanks a lot.